Hey guys, I just wanted to do this quick video for you. This is an updated version of the one I posted yesterday. Simpler version for you guys because that one was a little more complicated than it needed to be. So here we are on TradingView. You can see this is a trade that I'm in right now. And this is on BNB futures, 5-minute chart, regular candles of course. And so the only thing I have on my chart is volume, which is right here. And now I do have the volume MA checked, which is this yellow line. So basically, anytime the volume goes above this yellow line, it's a strong move, or it should be a strong move. And then I have momentum right here. So momentum is just a um, yeah, just a standard indicator right there. Okay. And this is default settings on this one. So anyway, the reason I got into this entry was because you can see here. Okay, so let me zoom in and then I'll show you some examples. All right, so let's see. I got there. All right, so basically what you're looking for is like right here we had. Okay, so this candle right here. Okay, we saw this. This was the highest high up to this point recently. Okay, and then this green candle broke the height of this one, so it's a higher high. It didn't quite beat out the wick here on this red candle, but anyway, so the reason I took it was because this was taller than this. This was higher than this one here, and the candle color doesn't really matter. But so I knew that, or actually, this one was the highest one. I'm sorry, this one right here. I know it's right at the edge of this right here. This candle right here, the red one. Okay, so that was the highest high. And when that formed, I knew that was higher than this red wick. Okay, so this was the highest up to this point. This candle was higher than this one. So when this candle closed, normally you would set your entry to the bottom of the candle that was higher than the previous one. So that would be like right about there. Okay, so this candle was here with the wick. This red one was taller. I took this a little sooner than normal, but normally this is where you would set your entry for a short. Okay, so when you get a candle here, taller one here, then you're going the opposite direction. Okay, so you're going to go take a short on that. So this is where I entered right here. Okay, and I put my stop loss just above the this red candle here because that's the highest point so far. So I just put it a little bit up above that, and it doesn't have to be anything specific, just as long as it's a little bit above the wick. Okay, if there is a wick on the entry candle. Okay, so right down here is actually, I set this up before I left. I put this trade in before I left, and I just kind of let it run. I used 10x leverage with my full account. I think maybe I didn't use my full account, but close to it. Okay, so this is my risk to reward on this one here. So you can see risk to reward is banana 17.49. So that's pretty crazy. But anyway, so we have a real small stop loss here. We have a really long take profit target. So because I knew I wasn't going to be here to watch this and adjust it if I needed to, I put my take profit here at this orange line down here. So it hasn't come down to there yet, but it's in good shape so far. And down here is actually where I want it to hit. So if it had hit this line before I got home, it would have been about a 30% gain. If it hits down here, I don't know what the profit will be on this one, but So basically what I did was when I got home, I adjusted it and I put at this orange line here where I had my take profit, I changed that to 50% take profit there. Before I had 100%, it was going to close out my position right here. So now I changed it. This is 50%, and then I have down here where I wanted it to go the rest of it to close out. So that'll be a pretty good win if it comes all the way down. And I adjusted my stop loss. I started it up here, and since it's been going down, I think I moved my stop loss to about here. So up to this candle here. So it still gives me a little cushion in case it comes back up a little bit, and in the event that it hits the stop loss, I'm still in profit. So not a big deal, but hopefully it'll continue down and at least get to this point here, and then it'll be a really good trade overall. So anyway, aside from this right here, your entry candle, being able to spot this, so the candle's here, this one was taller. When this candle closes, you want to take the, if it's in an uptrend, the higher candle, the second candle here, you start your entry from the bottom of that candle for a short. Now if it was the other way around, you would start it from the top of your of the candle for a long. Okay. So anyway, but as I saw this was in an uptrend, I saw this candle and then this one was higher, and at the same time price was going up, and I saw a little bit of a bullish divergence or bearish divergence, I'm sorry, which means price is going down. So anytime you have price going up here, and then down here on the bottom you have price, multiple peaks. You go from one peak to another. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3 or 4. That means price is going down on the momentum. So if price is going up here and price is going down here, that means it's going to follow whatever this is doing down here. So price would go down following this trend. And that's exactly what happened here. Okay. So then I also looked at the 15-minute time frame at my entry point here, which was at 450. Okay, so at 450, let's find that in here. Right there. So that's the second candle in there. So basically you would say right here where this dashed line is going across the screen, that would pretty much be like your resistance, because that's the highest point that we can see on the screen. And this candle here was pretty close to that point. So anytime you double check on your time frame, 3 to 6 times the time frame that you're trading on. So if you're on the 5, you can check the 15 or the 30. If you're on the 15-minute, you can check the hour. So because this was near the top, almost up to the resistance line right here, that was a good sign. So that was like, so essentially we have, so this is a good sign. That means it's at like a peak right here at this resistance line. Okay, so that's one thing. And we go back to the 5. This is another thing. This candle was higher than this candle. So that's 2 things. We got the bearish momentum and price going up. So that's 3 things. Okay. So, and then the other thing too, which was good, is anytime you see an entry candle like this, whether it's on a short or a long, if there's a short distance between this candle and the candle that you think you're going to enter on, usually it means it's a stronger reversal. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles this happened. Okay, so if it's under 10 candles, usually it's going to be a pretty strong push down, usually stronger than this even. And if it's more than 5 candles or more than 10 candles, it's usually going to be a slower down, like a slower reversal. Okay, so basically that is how I took this trade, and I'm still in it now. I just haven't moved this over. And so I'll show you some things. This is a trade I took last night. It's only 19%, not that big a deal, but still, it's good. And then I'll show you some examples here. Okay, so this is my trade right here that I'm in. Okay, so This is where I got in up here, the short price. That's where I got into the trade. And price has come down, so I moved my stop loss was somewhere up here. So because price has come down pretty far since I got in, I moved my stop loss down. So now all this is profit. So I can't lose on this trade really. Okay. And then we're at this point on here, this is a few minutes old now, but it was at 7:30, so my first take profit point is right here. So once it hits here, if it hits, that'll give me 50% of my profit, so it'll close out half the position. And then if it comes all the way down here to my second take profit, then it'll take out those profits too and get me out of that trade. And so I'll have made it from up here all the way down to here. So it's like a 3 or 4% gain, I think. And like I said, I'm using 10x leverage. So I'll show you some examples of what we're looking for here, okay? Okay, so this would be a good trade for a long, okay? So you see this candle here was the low, the lowest point of all this, okay? Then this candle here went lower, okay? So once this candle was lower than this candle, then that means that's your entry candle, okay? And since this would be a long, this green line here would be your entry, okay? So you would make this amount your entry, and then your stop loss would be just a little bit below this, okay? Doesn't have to be exact. And then your take profit would be up here at the high of this candle here, okay? Because that's the highest point recently. So I don't know what, because there's no numbers on here, I don't know what the even what pair this is or anything, but that would probably be a pretty good profit, especially with leverage, okay? So here's how this trade played out. So just like I said here, you know, this is the candle that this is the candle that went lower. You know, so we had this low candle, this one was lower, came all the way down to here. Here's your entry price, okay? Because a lot of times what will happen is this candle's low, this one's lower. So a lot of people, what they think is when it breaks that level of support, that it's going to continue to go down. And at first glance, like right here, everybody that made that play is thinking, oh yeah, I'm about to make some money. And then of course it turns right around and reverses on them. So everybody that's down here, you know, that made a short from the point right here when it broke the resistance level, you know, they all got liquidated. So, yep, so the candle's here, we broke it here. So you take the top of this candle as your entry for a long, green line right here. Stop loss just a little bit below the candle that, the lowest point. You know, even though this candle happened after your entry candle, you know, so you still have to wait for the price to come back up. So if this is your entry candle, here would be your entry. You have to wait for price to come back up, which is this candle here. So in between here, there was a couple lower candles. So this is the lowest. Set your stop loss below that. Right here's your entry point. So you get on this candle here, right at that point. And then your take profit would be right up here. And so you can see it went right up there and took that. Okay. So let's see if there's anything else. Oh yeah. Now this would be a short. I don't have the picture for the result, but so price came up to here. These candles moved. This one broke up past it. So this will be your candle that you'll base your entry off of. And you take it at right here because it's going to be a short. So you take it at the bottom of the candle. And I can't remember. I think it went pretty much like the last one. So it would just, you take it here and it come all the way down. And then you set your take profit at the recent low. So hopefully that explains it for you guys. If you have any questions, go ahead and tag me in the chat. And I'll keep working on this stuff, and when I get it all put together, I'll let you guys know. All right, thanks.